Back to the five. Now on to the 2012 race for the White House. GOP candidate Michelle Bachmann is still struggling to recover from the fallout over her comments on Rick Perry's 2007 HPV vaccine mandate. At issue is a remark that she made connecting the Gardasil vaccine to mental retardation. But some people are betting that that's not true, including one bioethics professor at Penn. So his name is Arthur Kaplan, and he's saying to the Congresswoman, look, I don't believe this. This isn't true. Substantiate your claim, and I'll give you 10,000 big ones. And she's still, to this, I guess, minute of showtime, has not responded.
She got to say she made a mistake. She got to pull the ripcord and get out of this because it's just getting worse by the minute. Honestly, the quicker she does that, the better off she's going to be. I really think that.
You're probably right. She got this by listening to some woman after the debate who came up to her and said her daughter was that way. But the worst part about this story is it covers up for the illegal, irresponsible, immoral moves by Lone Ranger Perry.
Can we just,
as they used to do in Germany, make people get injected.
All right. Here's the thing. This is the danger of anecdotal stories. If you remember, Obama did this a lot during health care reform. He would bring up people. He brought up a woman who was denied health coverage because she had acne. Do you remember that story? The other one about a guy who was denied a stem cell transplant. Turns out his insurance was actually extended, and his family refuted that. This always happens because they're poorly planned. Anecdotes can't be verified quickly enough. When you're a politician, you got to stay away from this stuff. It always comes back and bites you in the dairy air, Bob.
And can we just point out why this is still going on? This is all going on because at the last debate, they tried to figure out a way to go after Rick Perry, and they started in on this HPV Gardasil issue.
Let me ask you something.
It's blowing up in everyone's face.
Let me get in here. I think what happened is, I think Bachmann heard this anecdote, but I think she's tapping into this demographic of a lot of women, like the Jenny McCarthy's, who are leading the charge against vaccines.
So dangerous.
So she thinks, so she thinks this would be very politically popular. But I disagree with you, Bob. What is so big a deal? Okay, Rick Perry was very heavy-handed in doing it, but this is what states do. States implement vaccines for children at certain ages in schools. He shouldn't have done it the way that he did through executive order. He should have brought an advisory group of doctors and physicians together. But Gardasil is a wonder drug.
Andrea, they do it for measles, they do it for mumps, they do it for polio, things that have been proven. This has not been proven to be an effective vaccine.
Yes, it has.
And secondly, well, let me ask.
It could wipe out cervical cancer as we know.
Lone Ranger Perry did this. Let me ask Tonto if he can explain why that's the case.
He said in the debate, Bob, I made a mistake. I wouldn't do it. And to his credit, hey, why move on instead of like Romney, who says, well, I'll explain why Romney Care was so good.
Why don't you move on from Solandra?
In an extensive clinical...
How is Solandra?
There's a lot more evidence that Perry screwed up than ever.
This could be complete... people going to jail for Solandra.
You could call what he did totalitarianism.
Oh, no. Bob, the only side
effect... There was an opt-out, Bob.
Right.
There was an opt-out. No one was forced to do it.
And there's an argument even against opting out of certain drugs. If you have 8% of the population of parents who say they want their kids to opt out, then the vaccine has no purpose. Well, because you're going to have kids who are going to be getting communicable diseases and spreading them around.
Is anybody worried that the guy that sold this to Perry was his former chief of staff, who was the lobbyist for the drug company? Does that bother anybody? How about you, Connor?
You're missing the point, Lone Ranger. The point is, look.
Call him Spanky.
This is not hurting Perry. It's hurting Bachmann. Romney's decided he's smart enough to say, all right, I'm done with this. I'm going to move away from this. I'm going to stay on Social Security, which is going to bite him in the butt, too.
Well, it's not hurting Perry because it's a Perry poll.
We're never going to let Perry off on this one.
His numbers, look at Florida.
We're going to jam this needle right up his butt.
Look at his numbers in Florida. He's 29 over 20 in Romney.
Speaking of Romney, a new report this week from the Beacon Hill Institute in Massachusetts, shows that since the passage of Romney Care, the Bay State has been hemorrhaging jobs, about 18,000 jobs. And a similar thing has happened since the passage of Obamacare, Bob, even though you beg to differ.
Excuse me, I just was assaulted by Greg, who threw something at me.
A dirty tissue.
Which appears to be used.
You deserve that.
First of all, we don't know the end product of what's going to happen in Massachusetts. It's going to take several years for this to work itself out. And I keep trying to repeat to you again that the Obamacare thing you talk about, really health care reform, does not go into effect until 2014, so you cannot tell me that it's having negative consequences because it's not in effect.
That's not true. No, we have to correct the record, Bob, because you say things that are not true.
What's not true about that?
The mandates of covering kids under the age of 26, the caps on how much a person can spend on insurance, all of these things became effective immediately, including no preconditions, which is definitely driving up the cost of premiums.
And we're seeing
are you against any of those things, by the way? But no, I thought you were talking about the mandate that you had to buy insurance does not come into effect till 2014.
No, but you're asking what the drivers are to increase premiums
of Obamacare.
Oh, I see.
And she's saying this is what happens.
In children.
That's immediate. That's already law.
But look at that. Total health insurance costs in Massachusetts, $4.311 billion. That's how much it drove it up.
A lot of children and people with pre-existing conditions were helped, which you guys really obviously are focused on.
You kind of showed your hand here a little bit. Are you saying that this 2006 Romney Care doesn't have time to work yet? It's 5 years later. It hasn't kicked in yet.
I think what's happened is that the drug companies and the insurance companies have figured out how to scam the deal as usual.
Oh my God!
You all want to sit here and defend the health insurance industry.
My point is
beyond me why you want to do that.
If Obamacare isn't creating jobs and bending the cost curve down 5 years after 2014, 2019,
then it's broke.
You're going to still tell me it's not? It hasn't been given enough time.
I think it will work a lot faster than
we could go on for a long time, and we will. I'm going to take you to task over this during the commercial break. Coming up, if you think full-body pat-downs at airports make people furious, wait until you hear where else you might have to deal with them when the 5 returns.
Woo! I like this.